So, for this green color of living hope in God gives the soul such ardor and courage and aspiration, lifting power to the things of eternal life. And remember, this has to be translated immediately into union with Jesus, because from the first page to the last page in St. John of the Cross, union with Jesus is the goal. So things of eternal life is not just like being lost in contemplating the future or the eternal beatitude. No, it's union with Jesus. St. John of the Cross has a clear plan, and it's an achievable plan here on earth. It's not a plan for the future. And please notice that if we study properly St. John of the Cross, the sort of wobbly prior to Vatican II act of hope becomes clearer, and it unifies everything, and even goes with what the Council of Vatican II is saying. By this I mean, in the beginning, the goal, yes, was eternal life as a beatitude. What is the definition of eternal life? Is this fruition, this contemplation of God and enjoying deeply, which is called fruition of his being, no? Enjoyment, spiritual enjoyment of his being and being with him, no? Now, if we say that the act of hope's object, which I'm trying to explain and translate eternal life, things of eternal life, is union with Jesus. And if I say that union with Jesus is achievable here on earth, the equation changes completely. The equation of the act of hope changes completely. You see, that's the correction that we need today. Maybe we were too secluded in ourselves. It's possible. Maybe we weren't paying attention to our brothers and sisters. Maybe we understood our spiritual life as just saving ourselves and forgetting about the rest of the world. It can happen. It will happen always until, I don't know, the end of the time. It is always a deviation of understanding the proper spiritual life. There are people who go to church and they don't care about people around them. There are people who go to Mass every day who don't care about anybody around them. Aren't they also Christ? The people around you, aren't they also Christ? Yes, they are. So there is a possible deviation, and I think that the Council was trying to say something about this deviation, which is you can understand your spiritual life as something private and personal, and you are aiming toward your own salvation and your own eternity, if you want. I'm working on my eternity and I don't care about the others. This is fake. There is no progress here. This is just fake. You reach a point and then you go back and you go in circles. This is totally fake. John of the Cross is very clear on that. You cannot progress toward union with Jesus if you neglect Jesus' body, your brothers and sisters. It's part of the deal. It's not all the deal, but it's part of it. So certainly the Council was trying to say something to spiritual theology. Be careful, don't understand yourself, don't close yourself, or don't deviate, which is a deviation. Absolutely, no discussion. But now what is the solution? Shall I just immerse myself in the world? No, the solution is Christ and stays Christ. So instead of aiming toward something that will happen after my death, instead of just working in an enclosed way, thinking of myself only and not thinking of the others, the aim should be union with Jesus here on earth. And it implies, certainly, sooner or later, in one way or another, in plenty of ways, growth in charity. And charity means connection with God and connection with the rest of the body of Jesus. So ardor, courage, and lifting power toward union with Jesus, and we become like a magnet attracting others. But it's not attracting others to ourselves, attracting others to Christ, because we are attracted by Christ. Christ remains the center. Okay? So again, I'm not saying the Council was wrong. I'm just clarifying that we can understand spiritual life in the wrong way, and this did happen. In the past, prior to Vatican II, and after Vatican II. We are between two wrong interpretations, okay? An egoistical one, if you want, and a one that dilutes itself completely. And the answer is neither nor. The egoistical one, prior, and it can continue today. You can have people just worrying about their own spiritual life, being alien to others, or you can dilute yourself completely and then forget, okay? So please remember that the driving power is lost and it has to be gained back again. And the driving power should be adjusted. So we are not aiming about something that touches the future. We are aiming towards something that is feasible, achievable here on earth. Okay? Union with Christ. If hope moves us, by comparison, all things of the world seem to be as they truly are, dry, faded, dead, and nothing. Of course, hope-wise, not activity-wise, hope-wise. You are the one who brings hope to your brothers and sisters, but you don't find the object of hope in the world. You are bringing Jesus to the world. You are attracted by Jesus. Therefore, all the rest feels dry, faded, and dead, and you are bringing the opposite. The soul now divests, deprives, or gets rid of, and strips itself, the famous expression here, desnuda, no? Of all these worldly vestments and garments. What are these worldly vestments and garments? The false objects of hope, or what we can call in English hopes in plural, the human hopes, if you want. Yes, I am in the world. Yes, my hope, my only hope is Christ, and I avoid falling in the worldly vestments and garments, which can happen easily in certain circumstances. Setting its heart, you see, he is describing the act of hope. Here, he's very close to the act itself, and I think this is, it's gold. Setting its heart upon nothing and hoping for nothing, whether of that which is or that which is to be, but living clad only, covered only, in the hope of eternal life. And of course, hope eternal life, remember, union with Christ. It's not something in the future, it's in the future after death, it's something in here, on earth. So you see, the soul gets rid of all the worldly vestments, the hopes. Should I then stop hoping that my children will be good? No. But it's not the driving power. Should I stop thinking that the world will be better tomorrow? No, but it's not my driving power. Should I stop working and doing things in the world and being an active in the world? No, but still that's not my hope. That's the subtle thing. It's like when St. Paul talks to us and say the ones who possess live as if they don't possess. Now, how do you do that? People who are married live as if you are not married. This is not me who talks, I'm quoting St. Paul. Well, what does it mean? You who are married live as if you are not married. Tomorrow, today you might die. So live your day to the fullness. It's not me who's saying this, this is St. Paul. So then I stop being married, I stop taking care of my family, my children? No, but where is my heart? I'm driven by and toward what? So you see the worldly vestments and garments, setting its heart upon nothing else than the hope for eternal life, or if you prefer, hope for union with Jesus. That's tough. Think about it. Can you wake up in the morning and do such act? And despite all that, being involved in your family, in your work, in your neighborhood, in your community, can you do that? That's the challenge. This is what St. Paul says. You who possess, live as if you don't possess. You who are married, live as if you're not married. He's not saying stop being married, stop loving your husband or your wife or your children or your parents. No, he's not saying that. But he's saying, where is your heart? Where is your hope? Where is your aim? Where are you looking at? Where are you looking at? It's contemplation, you see. It's remote sometimes because we're not yet united to Jesus. But this is why when I teach in Solid Foundation, I say, look at the cross and look at yourself embraced and hugged by Jesus already 2,000 years ago when he died on the cross. He embraced you. He united you to him. It's core of our faith. Look at it, contemplate. Take a cross and look at the cross, at the crucifix, at Jesus, and say, yes, the body is suffering. The soul is suffering of Jesus. But deeply, I see another reality. I see myself embraced and united to Jesus on the cross. Can you see that? That's the act of hope. It's given on the cross. So the cross is not just the suffering of the body or the suffering of the soul. It's the beatitude of being embraced and united with Jesus. We have this teaching in the School of Mary, in the Solid Foundation course, Solid Foundation 000, no? That's fundamental, because the cross is the heart of the hope, because I can see through. So are you contemplating the cross properly? Do you reach that third deepest level of the cross, luminous level, where Jesus is hugging, embracing you and uniting you to him? This is realized already. From his side, he realized it, you see? So strengthening my act of hope comes from contemplating myself already, even though I might not yet be united with Jesus, of course. I'm already embraced by him. Salvation, my salvation, which means my union with him. You see, salvation becomes union, changes. We are too used to redemption and salvation, and they end up not meaning a big deal. What is salvation? Yes, we are saved. What does it mean? You see, it connects with Jesus. Yeah, we talk about eternal life. We are saved. What does it mean to be saved? You see, it sort of loses its meaning. But when you contemplate properly the cross and see yourself united to him, then your hope gets a new strength. You are moved. You want that. Even though it could be distant, but you see it already. You see where you're heading. You see, it's like you have a map and you already see the city where you're heading and while you're driving. It's far, but you can see it. You can have an idea of what is happening. This is why it's important also to read about union with God in a proper way, with discernment, and what comes in that state of union with God. Because then it gives you, it feeds the act of hope, you see.